You are listening to Let's Talk by Broke Boys.
Yo guys, so I'm interrupting this podcast really quickly to bring you two bits of really important information. This year on the 28th of June, we'll be re-hosting our famous show Broke Boys at the Farm. If you're interested in finding out more about the show, make sure you stay tuned on social media or head over to our Facebook event Broke Boys at the Farm 4 to keep up to date with when tickets will be released and you can grab yours. Secondly, if you're interested in getting yourself some Broke Boys or Broke Girl merchandise, head over to the website right now, brokeboysuk.co.uk, where you can find stickers, hoodies, t-shirts, jumpers, jackets, and other merch to keep you part of the squad. Other than that, guys, I won't interrupt anymore. Back to the podcast.
Let's go. Right, so guys, welcome to Let's Talk episode 3. Today, I've got someone that's not usually in the limelight, not usually on the camera. Darren, owner of Squeezed Orange and ATW. Bro, explain to us quickly what it is that you do. Because, I mean, anyone like me knows who you are, but everybody else might not.
Yeah, I print t-shirts.
That's it.
Yeah, and a lot of them. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, anything clothing related, I suppose. We're printing. Yeah. We're printing. So full service print shop. So yeah, screen printing, embroidery, DTG,
and that's Squeezed Orange.
That is Squeezed Orange. Yeah, and then obviously I've got ATW as well, but
yeah,
that's how it all started.
Yeah,
and it's
because I was
clothing brand. Right.
So let's go back to the beginning. Right. So I met you years ago on the ATW. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was mostly at Warwickshire. I think it was the first time I ever met you.
No, we met
Did we?
at Players in Goodwood. I was.
Well, where was you? And I remember.
I was pitched right over in the corner, and Juicy Details was like in front of me, off to the side. Back when Little John had Juicy Details.
Yeah. I'm trying to envision where you was. Was this because they changed the fucking trade area every year, didn't they? Where they put it.
Yeah. This was years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago. So we was all out. This is when it was out in the front car park. You know, when it always used to be in the front car park.
And did I have a stand?
Yeah, you were in the stand. You were over in the corner, like by the trees.
Yeah.
And then I think like I Love Bass were.
Is that the first
next
time I met
us.
you?
Yeah, we spoke there, and we spoke about.
Fuck.
What was we
mate,
speaking
do you know
about?
what? No, because I think. Well, first of all, I definitely spoke about obviously the ATW stuff and what you were doing. Yeah. But then you briefly mentioned Squeezed Orange to me, but didn't. Oh no, obviously at the time it wasn't what it is now.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So you'd briefly gone over with me like what it is that you were capable of doing. And at the time, was you getting custom stuff made for ATW?
For ATW, yes.
Is that when you was like actually getting?
That was when like all our tracksuits were like completely custom. Like literally everything for ATW at that time was custom made because I thought that was like the way to go. I thought be like, you know, I don't want to be printing garments and this, that, the other. So I switched over and was like getting everything custom, and I come a bit more of a designer and was like developing the templates for clothing and like found the suppliers and buying fabrics from one shop, sending them to another. Then we were cutting and sewing them, getting them sent over. And yeah, we done that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And it was at that time. That was what you saw. Then.
Yeah. Because I remember you. Yeah. Because I came over to you. I said this to in last week's one with Dan from Killer Wipers. We briefly mentioned you, and I said that the first ever conversation I'd had with you, you like really kind of explained to me like what ATW was about and like the capabilities of what you had. And you mentioned Squeezed Orange to me because I'm sure at the time you were like, yeah, like we could definitely produce your stuff for you. And I was like, wicked. But it was at that time like I was struggling to get like 10 t-shirts printed. So like I didn't like oversell myself, but I did kind of. Oh, well, no, hang on. I didn't oversell myself to you. I oversold myself to myself thinking, oh, yeah, that's sick. Like, I'm going to walk away with fucking clothing brand, boys. And then I kind of sat there and I was like, I can't afford to do that yet. But obviously now we're sitting here fucking talking because I can. But yeah, obviously it's so important because this podcast is, for anyone that's listening, it's going to be about like, I don't want to like center it around like car scene, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to always do that. I've had Jamie FYD on, obviously car YouTuber, Dan from Killer Wipers, but our conversation was like massively business based. And then I've said multiple times now that like I'm hugely interested in clothing, fashion, design. Like that's like my little background hobby that I love, and that's always what I've wanted Broke Boys to be. And then that's why going to you. So I started using you this year for printing. I'm happy to say it on camera. So the only reason I don't let you post anything on your Instagram is because I don't want people seeing what's coming. But no, the only reason I moved to you this year because we've used printers over the years, and you have so far been like the most diverse guy, like when it comes to the services that you offer, etc. So, explain from start to finish. You started off as a screen printer, right? Or was it not that? Am I getting that wrong?
So,
for Squeezed Orange specifically,
it's a weird transition. So I had ATW going, so it's easier for me just to start at the start. So I had ATW going, and I had the ability to print. I always had the ability to do, but it's not necessarily screen print to the capacity that we are now.
Yeah, no.
On a much smaller scale, single color, real simple stuff.
Are you self-taught?
Yeah, complete self-taught.
Yeah, cool.
I was at a show with ATW, and a guy approached me.
Yeah,
I had no idea. It was actually the first time I've ever seen anyone vlog in real life.
Yeah,
and this kid walked past.
What year was this?
Oh, no idea. Probably 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
When walking around with a camera wasn't acceptable at that point.
Yeah, and it's literally the first time I've ever seen anyone do it. So I was standing there at the trade store, and a guy walked past, and I was almost like,
the fuck
what is he doing?
Yeah.
And it looked funny, but anyway, circle round, and he actually come back, and I was like, oh god, he's heard me say something So he come back, and I always remember he had a fluorescent yellow t-shirt on in the middle of summer, covered in bugs.
Yeah.
Right. He was like, mate, I need a t-shirt straight away. I'm going to buy a t-shirt. I was like, okay, cool. I got chatting to him a little bit. No in-depth conversation. It wasn't he never come up oh, I'm this guy, give me a t-shirt. None of that. And I never said oh, we're this brand, promote or anything like that. So it was just a very natural conversation.
Who was it?
Paul Wallace from Supercars London.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
what show was this?
Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Oh, Festival of Speed.
It was a Festival of Speed.
I was going to say players. I was going to say Goodwood players.
No. So I'm sure he won't mind me dropping his name in. But
how many subs did he have 6 years ago?
About 300,000, I think.
Yeah, fair. Mate, we were doing that. Sorry, just to go off one. We did that at my car show 2 years ago. Yeah. We had a massive, it was they're called Thunderbugs or something like that.
Right. Oh, yeah. What, the little fruit fly things or whatever they are. Yeah,
oh my God. And we, at one point, there was a couple of kids that came over, and I know, I was just give him a t-shirt. You can't let them walk around like that.
Well, I wasn't that generous.
No, don't get me wrong. Everybody else paid, but there was a couple of kids that were in deep, it was wow.
Yeah, you've made a terrible life choice today, mate.
Yeah. No, go on, carry on.
So anyway, he come up, ended up buying a t-shirt.
Yeah,
a white t-shirt. It was one of these. We had these long line t-shirts in.
Yeah.
Simple logo. Cool, got that, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll put a post out on my Instagram." Yeah, and I was like, okay.
All right, dude.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
All right,
I was
chill,
like, I've got 5,000 followers. What are you going to do? Type thing. Right, anyway, lo and behold, literally within 3 minutes, notification comes through on my phone, and I was mate, I think I was standing with my brother. Must have been with my brother. I was like, that guy just tagged me, and I instantly was like, whoa, where are all these notifications coming from? Click through onto his page. I was like, whoa, that was the first time I've ever seen a YouTuber, you know what I mean? And I've never been immersed in that world. I never communicated with any of them. It was a very natural sort of.
Yeah, he's a wicked one to obviously back in the day 6 years ago as well. Getting a shout out from somebody like that with a significant following, or even quite a small following, to be fair to you. Remember how easy it was to pick up Instagram followers back in the day. Literally, you could shout someone out. Shout outs were a thing. You could shout people out, and you would see your following grow. Yeah. By
well, that was insane.
50,
that's where
100.
we're sort of where we're at now on the Instagram. We're by no means now considered big players, but we did rapidly grow. And people always ask me now, "Well, how did you get all them followers?" It's well, I didn't do anything. We was on there real early. Do you know? Yeah. And that was it. And it was another thing. Going off a tangent. My other sort of strategy is I always keep things organic. So I've never begged, like, oh yeah, like, can you wear, like, I want to, like, wear,
I
can you
don't
wear
like
this
that.
and give a shout out? Like, that happened. That was a very, like, organic thing that happened. Well, anyway, the most random thing happened. He followed me. I followed, like, obviously followed him back. And then I think it was like Tuesday after the show, he DM'd and was like, mate, I like this t-shirt so much. Like, who made it? And I was like, well, I did. You know what I mean? And he was like, it was almost like, well, no, like, who's your print guy? Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to get some merch made. I was like, well, it's me. Like, right, we'll have a meeting. And I think it was the next day or like 2 days later, we ended up in like a Nando somewhere, and had this meeting.
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this. Are you still printing for him now? Do you still do some of his stuff now? Cool.
Still print now.
I need to know the boundaries of what I can and what I can't ask. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, who can I ask? But I'll leave it at that. But yeah, no, that's sick. That's so sick, mate. Look how like shit just randomly happens. How not necessarily like lucky. Like you would have had other opportunities, but like what a cool one. Like what a cool opportunity to have.
Yeah. So this was very much like, I don't even think he knows this. So if he was to ever listen, he'd be like,
if he listens, mate, fair play. Like,
I'll send him the link. Like,
Gave you a shout in the first 10 minutes.
I'll be like, mate, I just name dropped you for 10 minutes.
You want to give me a shout out, Paul? Just go for it, bruv. Because
you want to get him to your show, like that.
Oh, if you want to go on the podcast, look at me go.
That's it.
I turned into
He's learning.
Yeah, no. Go on.
But yeah, so I don't even think he knew at the time, but it was. The conversation briefly went, he wants merch, we can print merch, like, we'll help him. And at the time, I'd never printed for anyone before, and he was going like, I want to, like, not work with ATW, he didn't want to, like, collaborate or anything, he just wanted us to print. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, because at the time, I kind of had this thing of like, well, I don't want to tie ATW to anyone because like that in my mindset back then, I thought I was going to be like what ATW could have been something.
Mate, I remember our first conversation was very ATW based. Like I remember you mentioning Squeezed Orange, and I think the way you pitched Squeezed Orange to me was like, like we've got the opportunity to work with, like, you were working with factories and stuff, and I remember you saying that and going, oh yeah, like we get custom stuff made, like if you ever want custom bits made, mate, come to me. And I was like, sick. That's when I realised I ain't got the money for that yet. But yeah, the first conversation I had with you was very like ATW heavy, whereas the conversations I have with you today are not ATW heavy at all. Like not to put ATW down, but obviously you've had other things hit you and carry on.
Yeah, the transition, a natural like progression of one to the other.
In
reality, but so yeah, at that time I was like, no, I'm not going to tie up with ATW. I don't want any links with him to ATW because one day ATW, you know, like me being young and you know whatever.
That's fair.
You know,
that's fair, bro.
Now obviously like different mindset. I'm a bit more humble as I don't feel like I'm going to be better, but you know, it was So I was like, we'd print, but we'd do it under another company. Like I set this other company up. So just literally, I don't know whether it was me or my dad, but me and my dad were sitting there and we come up with like, what should we call this company? And it just come out with Squeezed Orange.
Do you still take your dad to shows?
Yeah, he comes to everyone.
Mate, he's a lad. Because obviously I've spoken to him over the years when I've been with...
everyone knows him. Yeah, everyone knows him. Yeah.
What a lad. Yeah, what an absolute lad.
Yeah, he's like, well, he's retired now from his actual work, so he kind of just like bounces about with me, like goes loads the van up, gets a trailer. He's sort of like... Yeah.
I was going to say to you, how did you come up with Squeezed Orange? Like, it's very random.
Very random.
And it's just, you just literally pulled it out.
Literally, me and my dad were sitting there. This was when, for a brief period in my time, I was working with my dad. And we were literally sitting in his office on a lunch break. And just I was chatting to him about this meeting and what happened. And he was like, good idea. Like, have another company, you know, this, that, the other. And when I say company, we weren't like going out and like registering limited companies. It was just like under a different name. You know what I mean? It's just plucking things out of the air, basically. And it was Squeezed Orange. So that stuck. At the time, I thought that was cool and was like,
I like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, no,
and that was it. So then, instantly, very shortly after that, we started printing. So
you started printing for him, and then how did you get like your next customer under your belt?
So again, we're all word of mouth, like it is still to this day. It was pretty much a phone call again from Paul. It was, you know, along the line of, Darren, I've got a friend, I've given him your number, he's going to give you a bell. He's seen my merch, he loves it, the quality, the print, like, can you produce it for him? Oh, okay, you know, all right, almost like if I must, you know what I mean? You know,
all right then.
Really, more t-shirts, yeah. So I was like, okay, but at this point, I wasn't like set up for like the print shop isn't what the print shop is now. We wasn't set up for like mass production and big volumes. Like, I'd never seen big volumes before. You know, we were very much just printing for ourselves, like kind of as and when we wanted.
Did you start so with Broke Boys back in the day? Like, I couldn't afford to be buying out and paying out on shitloads of garments. Minimum quantities was a big one. Was hell. Even if I could get quantities down, I'd be wasting people's time with a couple of quid. Do you know what I mean, that sort of thing. So for me, I bought a heat press plotter. Could do the stickers that way. Standard shit. So did it start the same way for you?
Very much so. Yeah, it was. I must have been. I've been printing now 10 years.
Yeah.
So, I got a vinyl press. I got a heat press and a cutter probably when I was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And I remember that was like in my bedroom. It was like, I don't know if it was off Amazon. I don't even know if Amazon was about then. I don't know. But like it was like a little Chinese one.
I think mine was Amazon.
Probably off like eBay or something, like a little black Chinese one.
Yeah.
And then the black cutter things that they are. I don't even think they got a name, you know, but it's just like it comes in and makes all this noise. And that was just in my bedroom. And I just used to stamp t-shirts out. And I used to just get like
literally
Fruit of the Loom or Gildan t-shirts. And I just used to heat press.
Yeah.
Heat press the life
I think that obviously the difference between me and you is I did it and I started doing it for myself. And then obviously I went through that whole mental phase of, oh my God, I could make money off of this. And then what you do, like, especially with heat pressing specifically, because it's the only one that I've ever done.
Yeah.
I've never screen printed. I've seen it all done, but I've never done it myself.
Yeah.
Like, at first it was very much like, oh, I could make some money off of this. And before you knew it, like, I'd done the same thing. I'd like rebranded myself under a different name, hadn't told anyone. Like, if people were coming to me and saying, oh, Dan, like, where'd you get your stuff printed? I was like, oh, go to this company. And I was it was me still, but I was just pushing them to another Instagram. So it didn't mix with Broke Boys. I had a very similar thing. But the reason why I mostly never pursued it, mate, is because I fucking hated it. I couldn't stand it, mate. Like the time. Because what I didn't have obviously the original heat press that I got wasn't like the timer ones that just pop up.
Yeah.
Didn't have any of that. It was like, you got to watch that timer, or you're going to burn the house down. So like I'd put it down and like watch for like 30 seconds and like I'd messed loads up, like and then when I got into the swing of it, mate, I hated it. Like I would get an order in, and the worst bit is with most jobs that you do, you don't know how long they're going to take. So, like, I don't know, it sounds really stupid, but, like, if I have jobs with Broke Boys, whatever that may be, I've got emails to send, right? I can allot myself, like, an hour. But if it takes two, it takes two, right? But I've taken that time to do that job. The thing that I really hated with heat pressing was you couldn't do it quicker because you have to time how long you're pressing that T-shirt for. Yeah. So if I had a big old order coming, I think the most I ever did was, like, about 100, 150. Like hoodies or something on a heat press, a single heat press. Yeah. And it's like they advise on the vinyl that I bought, it was like 15 seconds a turn. And it's 150
not, degrees,
yeah. And so I was doing it, I'd experimented with my own stuff, I'd worn it for months, seen it drop off myself, and I thought that can't happen. Yeah. So I'm like whacking it up to like 170 degrees. Not that it's actually, do you know what I mean? I'm whacking it up really high and putting it on for like 30 seconds and then like doing it and then I don't know, like taking it off and you like you stand there and you're like, okay, right, so 150 t-shirts, 30 seconds per one, or like a minute per one. Yeah. Oh my God, that's like 2 hours worth of work. And you're like, yeah, but it's not too bad. It's like, no, but you've got to like unpack them, like put them on, like get them straight, then fold them, and like afterwards, and then reback. You can't fold them too quick because they're cooling down. Yep. Oh, bruv, like that in itself, I think that like big turnaround one, like I started printing stickers as well, and that was hell. Like, I couldn't do it, mate. So like, fair play to you. Like, so I take it you really liked it. I take it
somehow,
you enjoyed
mate.
it.
I enjoyed that. Yeah. Yeah.
I know a lot of people that do though. I know a lot of people that genuinely love printing clothes. I've known about 3-4 people to be like, I just love seeing the final products. I'm like, I can't be bothered. Like,
to be fair, you change. I would never heat. Like we don't transfer like vinyl cut and transfer print pretty much anything now. No, like we wouldn't. Yeah, just even for single piece runs, we stick it on the DCG machine. You know, we're not touching. I'm not weeding vinyl.
But a heat press and a DTG machine, difference in price. Like,
yeah, well, yeah.
A heat press is 200 quid off Amazon. CTG machine, raw. Like, depending on the one that you buy. How much is yours, for example?
Probably 6-7 grand.
Yeah, as an investment makes sense. As someone that was just doing it in his room, no.
Yeah,
not. But no, mate. Like, I've known a lot of people to like really enjoy it. So you kind of just, I take it, got like a little passion for it, and it like really.
Yeah, that was it, mate. Yeah, it kind of had a bit of I had a passion for it, which is why I started ATW. And then obviously on the back of that, I thought ATW was, well, it still is. It is where a passion lies. Like, I love to create, and I love to create my own product and my own brand.
Yeah.
It is cool. There is a sense of satisfaction. You get it. You know, the other guys that we're printing for and stuff, they get the same sense of like they've created something, a product, and can then do the marketing and all that, and it's great. So yeah, I was trying to keep like run ATW and the print shop. And then slowly, like the clients just get coming in. You know, it was more YouTubers basically. It's how we started. It was from that phone call with Paul. I've got a mate. Okay, phone rings. Another YouTuber, and I'm like, who's this guy? Literally, when I'm on the phone, I'm like, just throw it straight into YouTube. Like, oh, what's your name again? Like, throw it in YouTube. Yeah, 400,000 subs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, and you just went round like a whole network. I become very quickly, within the space of a year, the print guy for that little like click, that little YouTube click happened to be in the automotive scene. I didn't choose it. It just, that's where it happened to be.
Was you, because obviously, so you with ATW were trading at car shows.
Yeah.
Was you into cars yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why then. So that's why you had chosen that.
Yeah, my first ever show was like USC. 6-7 years ago, we started whipping around the car scene. Yeah. You know, and we still do now. We still pretty much go to most of the shows, same shows that you go to.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Obviously, this is how I've bumped into you.
Yeah.
My original thing was just kind of like, how the fuck did you end up here? It's because obviously seeing ATW, you can, for some reason. So like, no, actually, no, not for some reason. There's a lot of brands out there that when they build themselves, kind of are in the car market, and it's just like, oh, you're car related. Whereas ATW was very much like, you were there, but you weren't car related at all.
No, we never had, for years, I never had a car on the stand.
Yeah.
Because as much as we were car related and we were at these shows, I didn't want to be like, and I hate this term and I'm probably going to hate, but like part of a clique. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like, I just wanted to almost be the standalone brand.
I think it did you wonders, mate.
Still producing, like, my main focus at that point was just producing good quality clothes, and I think we nailed it back then. I think we were like, we had the tracksuits, like the full custom fitted, you know, from like bulk manufacture type stuff, cut and sew. We had all that, and we're bringing that, and then we never like tied ourselves to a particular sort of like group. We was just there with the clothes, and it was very much just about the clothes, and then obviously we just built relationships and friendships, and then after a few years, I think we started having cars on the stand and things like that. But still to this day, we're not like you guys. We're not like broke boys. Do you know what I mean? We didn't start from like car meets at Blue Water and things like that, and like real like come up. Like, we don't have stickers on Sunstrip. We don't make Sunstrips. Do you know what I mean? We're not that kind of brand. We're more.
You very much kind of. You started in a different way. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. Like, obviously, like Rope Boys was started off of the basis that we just wanted to be fit apart or something, I think. And go from there.
You just build a family.
Yeah, and then everyone from there was like, oh, would you sell a hoodie? Like, would you sell a t-shirt? Like, would you sell stickers? And like, obviously that's kind of just how it rolled. Like, obviously, like any other car brand. But that's the thing, and that's why I think ATW stood out to me first time I ever saw it, because I was just like, what's this? Like, no car on the stand, no stickers on sale, and I really like the fact that you kind of stuck to your guns and didn't go down that route, because I think everybody else does. No, don't get me wrong, obviously for me it makes perfect sense, but there are a lot of people out there that start clothing brands, realise that the clothing sales day one, because they're like cars, they're in the car market, situate themselves in the car market, might not be the best that they wanted, and then because of that, then they go, oh fuck, we need to produce some stickers, and the stickers may sell, and then what they end up doing is producing more and more stickers, and all of a sudden they're doing exactly the same with what everybody else is. So I think that's why when I saw ATW, mate, the first time I can really remember, to be fair, now you've mentioned that, I remember that, now you said, when I said, where was we? at Players, so I can remember talking to you then. The other time was, I think you was at Fast Show one time, and this I think was when obviously I'd known you by this point. I think I came over and spoke to you for a little bit or something like that. There was a show that I remember, and I spoke to you for quite a while, and that's when I kind of stood there and thought to myself, like, yeah, like, because you mentioned Squeezed Orange, and I was like, yeah, this is perfect. So for me, like having you on the podcast, mate, is so much more like business related, because I love like what you've built. So to give everybody an idea, where basically like how we've come to this point now, is I a while back kind of thought to myself, right, I've got the money now to invest a little bit more in making sure that the quality of clothes and stuff that I'm producing, etc., is way better, basically, because I couldn't afford it before. That's literally the reason why. And I thought of you. I was like, right, oh fuck yeah, that guy's got ATW. Like, yeah, I remember that. Oh fuck, he had another company as well. I'll message him. And I think I went on to I searched it and I saw ATW, and then I think Squeezed Orange like came up as a suggestion. I was like, fuck, that was it. So I've like clicked on it, and then I've seen like you just seem to be printing for everyone. I'm like, oh, I turned up late. Like I literally, mate. Like, I think we all came to you around about the same time, which is like annoying on my behalf in one way, but then again, if I was sore about it, I wouldn't be having you on it, because to be fair to you, this is pushing you to just more and more people. But mate, I have so many people ask all the time, like, oh, like, where'd you get your stuff printed?
Yeah.
And to be fair, over the years I've never really had issues with telling people where I go, because I always like to do it. And as well, mate, you produce such good shit, you're such a nice guy. Like, I prefer to just be honest. Like, if I've had people recently kind of ask me, oh, like, where'd you get your stuff printed? And I'll say, like, oh, I use a guy called Squeeze, like, I use a company called Squeezed Orange.
Yeah.
The guy's name's Darren. I don't know if you've ever had anyone come, but do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I'll
just say it now.
Yeah.
But it's because of the quality stuff that you do, mate. Like, you're doing more stuff than half the printers that you can go to online. You're doing way more stuff than them, like variety wise, printing wise, actual garment, that's huge. And obviously that's what we've been talking about a lot of, like the actual garments that you print on. And there's a lot of people doing like old school style print, whereas you just seem to really be nailing like new style. Like you're it's like quite evident that you're a young company, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit like how we started in the car shows and the automotive sort of like market where we are now, should we say? I never had like say cars I'm standing at. I never had like building, but like what you done, like building meets and sort of building a family and getting stickers out there. I never had that at the forefront of my brain. Like all I cared about was producing the clothing. That was it. I had a mentality of like, if I build it good enough, they will come. And then when they might not know me. They don't need to know me. They need to know the brand. You know what I mean? I've never sort of saying like when we was taking a photo a minute ago, like it's like the third photo, and
it's the first time I've been this side of the light.
Like on my Instagram, I think there's 2 selfies. You know, like I'm not like an out. I've always been like the behind the scenes guy.
In a good way, like, because I think a lot of people nowadays, especially, they kind of look at, like, no, don't look down. That's wrong. Sorry, wrong wording. They kind of everyone wants to be at the forefront. Everyone wants to be. Like, don't get me wrong, I put my face on posters, for fuck's sake. Like, I don't get it wrong, but I'm not the kind of guy to take a selfie. Do you know what I mean? But even so, like that sort of thing. It's cool to know that there are people like you out there, mate, that are smashing it behind the scenes. So. Yeah,
and I think your time will come anyway. Like randomly, like I'm on a podcast. This is the first time I've ever done this. First time I'm ever going to be on on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? And that's
cool.
It.
The reason why I asked you for the podcast, though, mate, is because obviously, like, we all sit here. Like, just a bit ago, like, before we put the cameras on, before all of this was rolling, like, we just stand and talk for ages. Like, you'll call me, and I'm like, I sit there and I think to myself, like, oh, right, I'll make this quick. And then, before I know it, I'm like, a fucking hour phone call of just chatting. So, but I
think that as well, I was thinking that. I was like, every time I think, right, I'm going to ring Dan, it's like, have I got an hour to set aside? You know what I mean? Because it's going to go on. No, it's good. It's a good chat. Like,
I talk for England, but then as well, like, it obviously I'm not like just nattering at you. Like, you're talking away.
That's it. The conversation is bounced, back and forward, isn't it? Yeah. And there's usually something productive comes out of it, which is what I like. You know what I mean? We're always 100%. Talking of like developing something or moving forward somewhere, whether it just be with a neck label or a full like redesign or whatever.
Yeah. For example, like, just to let everybody know, like, so obviously we've been working on the Broke Boys lines that we just currently done. Those jackets that you printed for us are absolutely banging. The hoodies, everything. Like, I've been trying to up the game on quality, etc. Like the embroidery, like it's all been amazing. And then one thing I've been trying to now for like the last 2 fucking months is like a girl's cropped hoodie, and I just can't. Like, we can't seem to get it right. Like, I'm just specific and like not moany, but like I want it to be right. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's good. You know, and this is this is not what says Squeeze 100 Pie. That's the wrong way of putting it. But like, without like trying to sound like humble here, but that's what I like. I
can tell.
I like the people that come to me like, I need this. It needs to be specific. You know, it's got to be like that. Like, because then we can really get our teeth into it, work on it, put down a good print, ultimately give you the best quality product.
Yeah.
And that no one knows about it. You know what I mean? Like you, like when these people, okay, it's happening more and more now because Squeezed Orange is sort of becoming a brand in its own right. Do you know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
So it is happening. Like, there are younger brands that want to be established. Like, oh, this has been printed by Squeezed Orange, and I'm seeing it more and more now. Like, they're tagging us in their posts, and it's like, whoa, like, that's, you know what I mean? We've never had that before because usually we're the secret that nobody wants to share. Yeah. So
that's what
this would have never happened to me 4 years ago, you know, or whatever. Like, no one ever talks about
That's
me.
what I found over the years, mate. I think I've always been... there's a lot of people that you can go to and you go, where'd you get... Oh, do me a favour, mate. Like, I can understand why in one sense. You kind of go, where'd you get it printed? And they give you that kind of, like, do you know what I mean? Because they're like, fuck, you're just going to copy the product. And I get that fear. I've just mentioned the jacket. I said, oh, yeah, like, we just got the jackets printed with you guys. And like, they're so sick. I know for a fact, like, I'm sure someone's going to be like, oh, can I get this? Do you know what I mean? And even though in my heart, I'm like, oh, fuck. But then I also do understand that I really struggled finding companies like yourself over the years. One of my biggest struggles, if anything, with Broke Boys as a whole, has been the clothing printing over the years. And I found, I'll be completely open, I found a wicked company who I enjoyed using, which was Merch Asylum, which I was using for the whole of last year, I think. Yeah, it was the whole of last year. I'm trying to figure out if I went any further with them before that. But the reason I had to kind of... the reason I broke away to you is because they were so far away from me. You're closer to me. There's a couple of other services that you offer, for example, that they didn't at the time. I don't know if they do now, but they're fucking brilliant. I think they're based in Wales. If I lived down the road in Wales, all due respect, like, I'd still be using them. Yeah. Because Dan, the guy there, is so accessible, and that's what I loved about you. Because like having someone that you can talk to, and I keep saying moan, it's wrong. Anyone that I can sit down with and be like, right, I want a cropped hoodie, and then you come to me and bearing in mind anyone listening to this again, like you have to prove yourself, like, and I've kind of proven myself to you, like the amount of stock I want to order and what I want to be doing, and you can see obviously with the brand and the sales and stuff like that. So all due respect, like, you dedicate some time to me of which you kind of go, okay, like, here's a selection, which one do you want? And I'm like, can I check samples? I like that. Whereas there's a lot of companies out there, it's just like, here's 5 cropped hoodies, pick one. And you're like, is this one like this? They're like, we don't know. Like, you pick one, we'll print it. And that seems to be an attitude with a lot of places that you go to. Not Merch were great. I'm just saying other people that I've worked with before that. It was very much like, oh, hi, like, I'm looking for a T-shirt. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm looking for a T-shirt. I want it to be, like, quite good quality. Yeah. And then they go, Gildan Premium. And then you're like, okay.
Here's a Gildan.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's Gildan or leave it, mate. And it's just like, there's no other option. Whereas with you, I found that there were wicked options, and it's a touch that you live... an hour from my house, like so we've been meeting in the middle and stuff and talking anyway. We've had McDonald's dates.
good old McDonald's meet up. It's I like to work closely with people, you know what I mean, like most people have got, most of my clients, big or small, if we've been working for any length of time, I've probably got my mobile number, got my personal number, you
that's
know,
what
I tell anyone, look, Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, whenever I'm accessible. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can ring. I'm usually still working anyway. You know what I mean? That's it. It's round the clock. Yeah. So there is that. Yeah. And we have got some clients that are just, they will literally WhatsApp me, yo, need 4 windbreakers, drivers coming tomorrow to pick them up. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. You know, like, fine. Like, they know that can happen.
I think it's good in one respect because it's nice to know that you're able to do that for people. But then I think as well, sometimes you must shoot yourself in the foot with how many hours you fucking work. How many hours you just must put in.
Yeah. It's a labour of love. Now, I'll tell anyone, can we swear on here?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I swear too much. So
Right, yeah, because I was going to say, like, I always tell anyone, like, they watch my stories, you've probably seen my stories or whatever. It's Monday to Sunday. We're going from 6 a.m. till like, well, we're still going now. Like you were like, come down and do the podcast. I was like, okay, I'll be over at like 8 p.m, 7 p.m. because it's like we're going. You know, we've got stuff to do. So you make time for it. You do make time, and it does get busy. We're coming into show season now. I mean, this is going to air. We're like 2 weeks before Dubs right now. This is obviously going to air after Dubs.
This will be the weekend after Dubs.
Yeah. So we're currently now. It's not this weekend. Next weekend is Dubs. Yeah. For us right now, we're Monday night. Yeah. You know. So like I say, even now, hours putting in what we now 9 p.m, 9:30 night, and we're exactly. We're
I haven't
sitting
had dinner
here.
yet. I literally, I said to my mum and dad, I was like, put dinner in the microwave for me. It's 8 minutes to 9.
Yeah. So there we go. It's just like a round the clock thing.
Yeah.
But it's like I tell anyone,
this
is it. But it is the labour of love because it's a shit job.
Yeah.
It's a very shit
That's
job.
what I'm saying. This is why I said the heat pressing thing. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not what you're doing now. I can't compare it in that sense. But you can understand where I'm coming from. Like you say, it's a labour of love. It is hard, mate. And that's why I like literally sit here and I go, it was me being semi-lazy, man. It was fucking hard. So like the point I was trying to make is like I experienced day one stuff of what you did and I hated it day one. That's not me saying fuck like you must hate your job. That's me saying fair play to you because I know how hard you work.
Yeah.
Like the hours that you'd have to put in to get that shit done.
That's it. You're just constant. Well, for me anyway, for the last probably 6 years.
Yeah.
5 years has been just heavy graft, just 7 days a week.
Because I know from like the other day when we was talking, obviously you got family in South Africa, you had to go out and see one, and you were saying like you were even kind of sitting there going, oh my god, I've got to have like how many days did you go for? Don't get me wrong, you had to go.
Yeah, I went for like 6 days, 7 days.
Yeah, and even then you were like, right, I've got 6 days out. Like
it was. Yeah, I don't have holidays. I don't have days off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't. It just. Yeah, it's just another point to me. It's just like when people feel like they're entitled to a day off. And then you know, oh yeah, you got to have that. Oh, you got to have time to rest. You got to do this. Yeah, you do. You know what I mean? Yeah, my sleep is good. I still get hours in. I still eat well. I still go to the gym every, most nights, nearly every night.
You're a workaholic, mate. You're an entrepreneur and a workaholic. Like the two things that I'd mostly categorise you with. Because one, you're building a business. Two, I can see the passion in you, and this is why I had like Dan on from Killer Wipers last week. Man. Yeah, like the kid is one of the most passionate people I've ever met. you're laughing already. The kid is mostly one of the most passionate people I've ever come across, and he's just so in his product, which is just so amazing to see. Yeah. But like I said, I want to make this podcast about having people on that are just passionate about what they do. YouTubers, like all this kind of modern day business stuff is like what I love. And I'm situated in the car market. I'm gonna find like getting a hookup with someone like yourself, people that are also in the car market as well. It's gonna be so much easier. But I know just from talking to you, mate, how passionate you are about the job, and that's another reason why I use you, because obviously when I've been talking to you and stuff, like when I first spoke to you years ago, it was the same thing, and then up until now, like when we started talking again, I was like, yeah, this kid, like he knows what he's doing, like, do you know what I mean? Like I trust you. That's what that's why I think a lot of people use you, mate. I want to mention, right, so I don't know if I got it on last week's podcast. I can't remember if it was recorded. I can't remember. Right, so I'm sitting there with Dan, and he fucking goes to me. We're talking about you because he gets his stuff printed with you as well, and he goes to me, because you know, like obviously when Darren was a professional jet skier, and I went, what? And he went, yeah, Darren used to jet ski professionally. I went, what the fuck? Now, obviously, like I know you as like print guy, clothing guy, ATW guy,
Yeah.
like squeezed orange guy, anything clothing related, it's you. Professional jet skier.
Yeah.
Please explain. Please explain that.
Oh, mate. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
explain. What happened? How? Come on.
I've lived a lot of life, mate. I have
know.
to say.
You're 28,
right?
right?
I'm 28 right now, yeah. And yeah, so I've been printing 10 years. Before that, in the transition between me printing, I was jet skiing at a British Championship level. And sort of, it was 1 point, like, second, like the British vice champion, like second best jet skier in the UK, if you want to
what age
word it that way. At that age I was probably 16, 17.
That's madness, mate.
Yeah, I started when,
I love a story.
Started when, so yeah, that all come about. I mean, my dad has always had boats, so like I think he had a boat in his parents, like before he could even drive, you know what I mean? He had a boat, like when I bought this boat, didn't even have an engine in it. It was sitting in his parents' garden until he could save up and put an engine in it. And anyway, that all went on, and then he was like water skiing and all that. Obviously, they had kids. That would be me and my brother, and then we was just brought up on boats. Like I could water ski before I could walk. You know, like that was it. Like we were just like, I remember my dad like tying two skis together with a bit of rope so your legs just didn't fly apart, and we were water skiing.
That's
and then like wakeboarding took off, and I was like, I'll get on a wakeboard. Like,
what's wakeboarding? What?
So wakeboarding is, you know, like water skiing, a bit like snow skiing, but you're on.
Okay.
So wakeboarding is a bit like snowboarding, but
just on water.
Yeah, you're on water, and then obviously you watch wakeboarders and they're doing all these tricks and they're jumping the boat wakes, and I was like, this is it. I've always been like a freestyle guy. I've always been into either like skating or BMXing or skateboarding. Like I've literally always done something along the line of an extreme sport. Like, for my whole childhood, I never played football. Like I never, to this day, I can't kick a football to save my life. You know what I mean? But I could backflip a BMX tomorrow, like right now. You know what I mean? Like that's just so. Yeah, I went down that route. Dad had boats. It come to there was a time we was down in Portsmouth, which is Southampton way and all that, Portsmouth, and it was like we had like just kept having really bad weather, almost like what we've got now. You know, it's just storms, just constant wind. Sea was just always rough, so we couldn't go out in the boat. And there was sort of like a crowd. We was like in the marina, like where you'd launch the boat, and we was like, what's all these people about? Like, what's like something's going on, right? So you start asking, like, what's going on? You know, there's a freestyle jet ski display team coming down. We're like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like none of us have like, and at this time, at this age, I'm probably 13, 14 years old. I'm like, wow, we got to watch this. So anyway, lo and behold, this freestyle jet ski display team comes out. Never seen it before in my life, mate. Literally on stand-up jet skis. So anything we do, we're on the stand-up jet skis. We're not on, you know, like the big sit-down ones you rent on holiday. Like none of that. This is like the stand-up ones. This jet ski display team comes out and they're like doing all these tricks, like spins and like little jumps. You know what I mean? Like little 180 hops. And I was like blown away. Like, oh my God. Like it's like the first time seeing freestyle motocross. There was one guy there called Dan Ashcroft. I don't know his name now, but at the time, I obviously didn't know him. 13 years old, standing there watching him. He was doing a trick, what we'd call a barrel roll, which is you right out of the water, a full 360 spin over to the side, land back, hopefully, on your feet. And he was doing them, and it was just like, whoa. Like, this kid is just like defying gravity.
How old was he at the time? Do you know? Like,
he's probably 5 years older than me, maybe. So yeah, he was a bit older. So he was still like teens, you know what I mean? He was still probably 17, 18, 19 or whatever, if I was about 13, around that age. Well, anyway, like that was it. Freestyle display team left. That was all cool. Still too rough to go out and do our water skiing in the little boat. Anyway, 2 weeks. It feels like, I don't know times. I don't really know like the timescales because I was so young. But it felt like 2 weeks. 2 weeks had passed, and then my dad was just like, "Oh, I'm going to buy like a jet ski."
Amazing, yeah.
So I was like, whoa, obviously it's a 13-year-old kid. I'm like, we're getting a jet ski. Like, this is like the best news ever for like the family. Like, as a family jet ski, like we're gonna switch from boats to jet skis because the sea's always rough. My dad was sick of it. Like, wants to go out with me and my brother, like have some fun. So we ended up picking up this jet ski, and it was a stand-up jet ski.
Yeah.
And there we go. So
and you just started doing shit.
I was just straight on it, mate. And just at that age where, I was just so like I was a small kid. You know what I mean? I was tiny, fearless. So like fearless. You bounce, nothing really breaks.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss those days.
Yeah, same, mate. I'm telling you, I'm living the injuries now. But you know, I could stand on the ski and it wouldn't sink. Like, and I was always into water skiing, so I had like the balance already. Like it was just I didn't have to learn to do it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like obviously, so I've been on jet skis, but I've been on like sit down, rent them on holiday jet skis.
Yeah,
it must be mad hard to balance, surely. Like is it like I'm just envisioning trying to fuck it. Like I stand on them on the holiday.
Yeah,
and like you've got this big, they're huge, like they're massive. You've got this big old fucking seat between your legs. Like you're really stable.
Yeah,
and like even then you're still a bit like what? Like do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like obviously for me anyway.
Yeah.
So like I'm just envisioning these things to be fucking.
They are hard to ride. It took my dad and my brother a lot longer to learn to sort of like stand up. And
How old
ride.
is your brother again? Sorry,
my brother's like 3 years older than me, so
okay.
he's 30 now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like 2 years or whatever. But
yeah.
It's, So, yeah, it took them a lot longer to learn to sort of stand up, but I was like straight on it, stood up, and this was it.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to, it comes back to like the BMX thing, you know, anything I got on, like whether it be a bike, I was always trying to jump it. We was always building jumps. Like me and my brother, we was always building like a little wooden ramp trying to hop up a curb, you know, and like we've got all the scars to prove it, you know. So naturally, I was like, as soon as I could ride, I was like, I want to try and do like some power slides and like spin the ski round and and just do all that sort of like what we would call amateur stuff now, you know. Like, but at the time, it was like, well, like, I can like 180 slide this ski and stuff, and you can like drift them and all that, and like you can pin them full throttle and just like dunk and right, like almost the equivalent to like being on a motorbike and getting your knee down, you know, like you can just dunk your shoulder in the water and just turn the buoy and then straight off again.
That's mad.
So I was doing that at 13, 14 years old on this jet ski. We were going out to the beach and people were like, is he like, what, you're just letting your son go on that? And he's just like flat out across the bay, you know what I mean? Just hanging on the back of it, like and that's what we're doing. And then so it started to get right, like, and then when we was in the rough season, that was when I was trying to jump.
Yeah.
And that's when I was trying to get that thing airborne. The mindset now, I suppose, like. I think I said to the other day, it's like that addictive mindset. Yeah. So then I start like, I'm on YouTube watching jet skiing. I'm like getting the magazines. I'm like getting the DVDs. I think Facebook was about at the time. There was no Instagram or anything. So I'm on Facebook like following the champion, you know, the world champion at the time, and just like fully immersing myself into jet skiing. Like that was it. I had like just a one-track mind. Like I'm going to be a jet skier. Yeah. And this was at 13 years old. Like it was just a kid's dream. Yeah. You know. And that's what happened. So we started going out on the jet skis, and I was like, oh yeah, I've like watched this video on YouTube, and like it shows you how to do like a little 180 hop, and there's me then like doing 180 hops, and then it just progresses and progresses and progresses, until the point where we start making like modifications to the ski, to be able to do bigger and better tricks. And then I suppose let's like fast forward now, probably a year to 2 years. I'm probably 15 years old. Yeah. And I'm connected with a guy called Lee Stone, who at the time was the 3-time world champion. Yeah. Best jet skier in the world, but to this day still like hands down like the legendary, like he's like the Travis Pastrana of jet skiing. Yeah. I'm somehow connected with him on Facebook. Yeah. And we're chatting, and he was like, I've seen my videos and stuff that I've put out, my photos on my Facebook page. He was like, I'll tell you what, if you no, that was it. I bought some parts off of him as well. He was selling some parts off eBay, so we went up, picked these parts up, then I met him and stuff, and then got chatting, and we just stayed connected then. And he said to me, like, there's the British Winter Championships coming up. Yeah. Believe it or not, they have a winter championship.
Mate, I was going to say to you, like, I've never been a sports guy, and the reason I don't go outside and play rugby is because it's fucking cold. Yeah. The reason I don't do football is because it's fucking cold.
Yeah, no, don't get like, in a freezing lake.
You're getting in freezing cold
water. That's a whole other story, mate. We were breaking the ice in that to train. We used to break the ice. So what we do is you would where you'd launch the ski, you would like chip away at it, so there's a bit of water. You'd back the skis down.
Yeah.
Lift the back of the ski up and like start the ski up and just shoot water over the ice, and you'd hear all the ice crack and break the ice, and we'd go out and train. But that's like a whole another segment, mate. Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah, we were.
I want
were,
to see the ice on about
we
now.
were crazy. I'll tell you what, it made you stay on though.
Yeah.
Those were the best days. Like they were the best
true.
days
That's
to
mad,
land
isn't it?
tricks because you did not want to get your head wet. It was like if you got your head wet.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had balaclavas on, helmets on, body armors,
Yeah.
dry suits, and stuff like that. But
yeah.
it's still cold. You know what I mean? It's still like
Jesus,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it now. People go, "Oh, why don't you still jet ski?" I'm like, right. Let me tell you all. Like, it looks cool in the like 2-minute video you see, but actually the pros and cons of doing it. You know, there's
So he tells you.
So yeah. He said British Winter Championships coming up. If you enter it and do well, there's a spot on your ski for some sponsorship.
Nice.
So I'm 15 years old.
Yeah.
Like
being told by someone that
Dad, we're going to the championship. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. And that was it. Mum's like, oh, I don't know about this. You know, like, but anyway, we're there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we entered this competition, and somehow I placed like second.
Yeah. That's sick.
Don't
even say somehow, in
the British Championship.
You've been practicing, bro.
I'd been it's all I'd done. But you don't know how good you don't.
I'm not thinking like you're at school for all of this as well. Like,
I'm at school, yeah. I mean,
weekends you're just out in the water.
Yeah, it wasn't full time for me yet. It did get full time for me when I left school. I was full time, 7 days a week training. Right, literally, like people go, "Oh, you live in a dream." Like, I was riding jet skis every day of my life.
Yeah,
like literally every day in Spain. We flew out to Vegas. We were like with Monster Energy. Like we were doing like whatever. So yeah, picked up the spot. Like, come second, picked up the sponsorship, straight into the British Summer Championship. At the time, all these years ago, there was only 2 classes. Yeah. One was the amateur, and I wasn't allowed in that because I'd placed high in the Winter Championship. So that was
the amateur division of the Winter Championship.
So that was my entry in.
Yeah.
And then like, well, I suppose it's like any sport really. They say, look, you because you come first, second, or third in the amateur, you can choose to step up to pro if you want. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Pro means we can run bigger engines. Yeah. Pro means we can like cut and shut our holes. Like we can modify these skis. Like if you can put an engine in it and ride it, you can run it. Like, and it's like within a legal sort of restriction, and it's safe. You can run it. So I was like, we'll go pro. Yeah. You know, I'm 15 years old. So now I'm in this summer championship, and it's like a 6-round thing or a 7-round like JSRA British freestyle championship.
What country's it
in? In Britain, yeah, just like it's just a governing body.
I wasn't sure if they, because when you said you've gone off to other places.
Yeah, those for world championships and stuff like that. And yeah, so yeah, I enter this the summer championship, and then like lo and behold, like I'm like third place, consistent from start to end. I finished the championship, I think third, pick up like Rider of the Year award, and then with that whole championship come like magazines, you know, like magazine features, magazine covers, like in the jet ski community, obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you wasn't, it wasn't the
no, it wasn't like it wasn't like international news or whatever, but no, within the industry, it was like big news, you know, and then on the forums at the time, it was like, wow, the underdog comes through. Now, when you go, you come third, the reason why it was like, I think big news at the time was because first and second, first was always Lee Stone, who's like, he is now to this day still the undefeated like world. He's like the 10-time world champion. Like no one can beat him. He's basically bionic. Like he's hitting double flips now and like Superman like double backflips now on these jet skis. And I watch them videos now thinking, Christ, I'm glad I got out. You know what I mean? Because that's like just insane. Yeah. So no one was really doing a backflip. So he was always first. There was a guy called Ant Burgess that was always second. Yeah. He was the amateur world champion. Yeah. I was third. Yeah. As an amateur, I'd come out of amateur, progressed to pro when I'd like not even on the same level ski as them, and I'm right up there with them, right at the top of the table, beating the other 10 competitors or whatever, hitting straight into third behind the 2 best jet skiers in the world. And it was like, okay, that's when people started to take notice, and that's when like then the sponsors come in, and it was like we was fully sponsored from like fuel, from like OP Oils, and I think like we had Monster Energy at one point, and we were fully sponsored, and then we run championships for years from the age of, like I say, it's all I've done from really started skiing at 13, 14, probably in my first competition around 14, 15 years old, to then all the way through till I was 21.
Did you, so from 21 to what you're doing now, did you ever have a normal job in between? What did you do?
So I worked with, I say a normal job, like I've never wrote a CV in my life. I've never applied for a job.
Yeah.
Right. So I worked for my dad.
Yeah,
my
what
dad.
did he do?
So he managed commercial property.
Okay.
So he was employed by someone, so he just like got me a job within that company. And I was nothing glamorous, nothing special. I was like a receptionist.
Yeah.
Like I sat on the front desk. Yeah. And pretty much.
How long did you do that for?
A couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2 years.
Then you've got, I'm assuming you've kind of got, how's ATW, how is this, so you told me the other day, something you mentioned that, you ended up printing your own gear, didn't you, for your ski stuff?
Yeah, so that was it. So this is when printing sort of started. So at the time I was, I had the ideas, and it was almost like in my free time out of jet skiing, I had these ideas, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I could create like a clothing brand. And I used to watch like the Rob Dyrdek Fancy Factory and all that. I don't know if you remember. Mate, do you remember it?
So
like I was watching him, was thinking,
DCs, man.
That's what I'm saying. And like hit all of his brands, you know, from like Rogue Status, DTA, obviously he was part of DC, all of that stuff.
His DCs were the only ones I ever had. I bought a pair, trashed them, and then bought another pair.
Yeah, he was good, and he still is good. He still is good. But I looked at him and thought, like he's got a clothing brand. He's like this. He's like the athlete, you know. And I was like, do you know what? Like I've got some ideas. Do you know what I mean? And I could do some stuff like that maybe. So that's when I got the vinyl press and the car, and started printing. Like, amazing. Had these ideas. That's sort of like when ATW was born. Like, the actual name Against the World, people think it's like some ISIS thing. Yeah. You know? But it's...
I've never once thought that.
No, well, it's because you're normal. But
you're part of ISIS.
Yeah. So,
well, this is getting demonetised.
Mate,
I'm joking. No, I'm
sorry,
joking.
Al. The name actually come about Against the World from the jet ski days, because I was competing what would seem against the world. So that it was supposed to be like a competitive.
So now
sort
I'm getting into the where this transitions happen.
And then I started obviously printing, like we had like Sedge jet ski t-shirts like for the pits, you know what I mean, with my sponsors on the back, and I just printed all of them, you know, just like vinyl, heat pressed them out, and I went to these things, and a few of my other mates were like, "Yo, who printed your t-shirts? I need some done," and that's when it really first started. I take it you've always had like a thing for fashion as well then. Yeah. So you liked that side of things, and that's why. So, where does cars come into this? Where does like your love of cars come into this as well? So I've never had. Well, that's when you like learn to drive. Oh, so you just liked it enough to be like, because you got to remember, mate. Like, so obviously from my perspective, so 2014. 2012 I passed my test. 2014. Start again. 2012 I passed my test. 2012 I get my classic Mini. I essentially like modify it by accident for 2 years because I'm just buying stuff for it because I liked it. I'd always liked cars anyway. Like I've always had like cars on shelves in my room and stuff. So I've gone through all of that, and then I had a mate who had like a Lupo, and he went to college, and at the college he was doing mechanics. They were all modifying cars, and then it's like, oh, down the road at Bluewater, there's a car show. And like I step into this car show and like it's all modified cars, and then boom, I'm in. Like it's like this is what modified cars actually is. There's actually a whole scene of people doing it. There's a whole group of people modifying cars, and that's where like I transitioned into it. So like, how did you find modified car shows? So I got my first car. Yeah, Vauxhall Corsa, cool. 1.2 SXI. Oh, Corsa C. Corsa C. Yeah, okay. Corsa C. Cool. We had this massive discussion with Dan the other day. Yeah. In last week's podcast, I don't know if it was in it, but we were talking about. I think it was. We were talking about. No, it wasn't. It was with Jamie FYD. Sorry, and we were talking about first cars and stuff, and it was like
I was like, the Corsa C was the one for me.
Oh,
Back in the day, it was the one.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand. If you're listening to this now, you're thinking, what the fuck? But
Yeah.
the Corsa C, mate, was the one.
Strong.
2010, 11, 12, like around that time, that was it. That was the thing.
So you're, I don't know where I'm showing my age. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26.
I'm
You're not that
27
much.
this year.
So do you remember South End, like the old days,
Yeah,
like before it was all transition, when people used to actually race there. You used to just pull up, like
So
it was like some Fast and the Furious looking thing.
Yeah. No, so I missed Southend. So I knew it was happening. So
Yeah.
I say I knew it was happening. I didn't know at the time. Then obviously I've entered the car world in 2014, which, to be fair to you, like you kind of sit there, it was not that long ago, but it kind of is now.
Yeah.
In relation to the difference, but it was kind of very much known that Southend was a thing.
Yeah.
But Lakeside was a
Yeah.
huge thing.
We were there as well.
Yeah, Lakeside was a massive thing, mate.
See, me and all my friends, like back then, we're going back like 10 years, 11 years now. You know, I took all the plastics off my Corsa, rubbed them down, colour-coded the car myself, painted the wheels, tinted the windows.
Okay, so this is the car thing.
Yeah, we put like doubled-in head units in it. We put all the subs in the back. I cut my, when we was putting like 6x9s in the parcel shelf, I got the jigsaw out, balanced it on a chair, and like cut a square and put a circle speaker in it, and was like, yes, like that's what we were doing, you know. And,
this is.
And then my friend, so I had, believe it or not, the nicest car out of my friends, but my friends had some cool cars, like. My best mate at the time had like a Nova Saloon.
Mad.
Oh, mate, like that's what we would go out in.
Yeah.
And they were putting like little red tops in them and stuff like that, and then just rolling them.
Yeah.
Just writing them off.
Yeah.
They were buying cars out of like scrapyards for like 250 quid, dropping stupid motors in like old Fiestas, and we're just going green laning in them.
Yeah.
And just trashing them.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what your car fucking thing
so
comes
this
from.
is so that there was all of that, and we were doing like Southend a lot.
Yeah.
Lakeside, I've never been. No, I've been to Blue Water like once or twice, but I think
Blue Water was a meats place.
Was meats, yeah.
Lakeside was we're talking about this like everybody's
was like proper racing. They would like race like the strip. Like that, I saw some crazy things there. Mate.
Yeah. So you're based where do you live?
Essex, yeah.
So obviously you're Essex. I'm South East London. For anyone that's listening to this, that's either out the country or even up north, like South East of the country, there's Lakeside down the road from us, which is effectively like a shopping centre. Lakeside is a shopping centre.
It's just a big shopping.
And then there's obviously a massive amounts of industrial estates around it, which have got like IKEAs and like all these other things. And then there's a massive, it's like about 4 kind of stint dual carriageway, isn't it? Of like 2 lanes that just is like roundabout. And some of them must be about 100 metres each. And yeah, back in the day, mate.
Well, it's the first it's between the 2 main roundabouts. So when you come off now, what is it, the A13? I think you come up. It's all changed now, but they've changed all that. They've changed all them roundabouts. So you can't actually go around the roundabouts anymore. I don't think.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm right at the
about.
top end. So we would come off, and when you go round the roundabout, there's 3 lanes going down.
Yes,
it goes under the bridge.
Yeah.
You've got the shopping centre that side.
Yeah, I know what you're on
The
about.
3rd lane takes you
IKEA's
off into like
you.
Thurrock.
Yeah, it doesn't anymore.
No, but no. I don't even think the 3rd lane's there anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't been there in so long, mate.
I think it opens up into 3. I'm talking like where like TGI Fridays is.
Right. Oh, you're there.
Yeah. So what used to happen this is 6 years ago. Like, oh mate, like they used to line the streets. There was
we used to all park in the hard shoulders / like first lane 1, and then lane 2 and 3. They would just like whoever was lining up. It was proper racing. They were proper drag racing down, hitting the bottom roundabout, round the roundabouut, coming back up the dual carriageway the other side. The next 2 were going, and then it was like. The police would then just come in, and then I just remember it like Fast and Furious. Like the more I think about it, like everyone's just gone. You know what I mean? And that was it.
There depending on the night, there'd be hundreds or like thousands of people there, and like so like when I went, it was like I think they changed how they put where they put the roundabouts. I think they might have adjusted a couple.
Well, they started putting speed bumps in and changing roundabouts, so like you couldn't go up and go round the roundabouts and come back anymore. They made it all like something like that.
You can see there's a couple of roundabouts there that have like those big concrete blocks.
Yeah, that's it.
To stop, so it's like just directs you off.
Yeah,
one
that's
way.
it.
I didn't know that was the reason, because back in the day when I went, it was like you stood all right round where TGI Fridays and all of that is.
It all
You'd
moved
like
round,
line the fucking streets there,
Yeah.
and they'd bomb it. But the what's it's called? Is it dispersal order? I don't know if it's the right fucking wording for it, but that's what the police ended up getting there, because
you know
it was basically like if you were seen there by a policeman and your car was like lightly modified, there was a high chance that you were getting done hard.
So it went. Oh god, yeah. Like I say, this was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that's scary. It feels like I remember it. Like it was mad.
Yeah,
loads of us used to go down there. But so when we started like from Southend to then let's go Lakeside. Everyone's at Lakeside, so we'll go to Lakeside, and then for a short period of time, it went to Basildon.
Fuck knows, don't know that one.
Yeah, it's like Baz Vegas. Yeah, we was all we was down there, and then from there there was a little bit of Barking as well.
No, never knew them, because obviously I'm this side of the water, and So for anyone again that doesn't know, you've got south and north of the water.
So I think is it Barking or Beck? Is it Beckton Retail Park or Barking? I think.
Might be Beckton. I think Beckton
might be Beckton Retail Park, but round the back of wherever it was, round the back of the retail park, it's at the end of the A406. So if anyone's listening knows where the end of the A406 is, there's like a retail park there. Round the back of that retail park, there's like a long sweeping bend that goes round, right? And that used to be like where everyone used to drift, and that was it. It was known for like people drifting and all that.
I don't know where it was. So. Yeah, what I was just saying, there's north and south of the water. I live south of the water, you're north. Essex is north.
Yeah.
But I'm just south, so I could travel over to Lakeside. Lakeside's like 20 minutes from me.
Yeah,
especially of an evening, like, done. So that's when I only went Lakeside about 3 times, I think it is. And then Blue Water is south of the water, but Blue Water was never a race thing; it was a meets thing.
Right.
But we used to go there. We used to take a fucking football, and there used to be like a massive meet. Everyone would clear out, and then we'd play football in the underground car parks, and it was warming them.
Yeah.
For some reason, they just seemed to hold the heat. So we used to go there. But you said about drifting. There was one night I went over to Essex, and I could never tell you where it was. We went onto this industrial estate where there was just like nothing, and mate, like. We lined the streets. Like I don't really kind of condone it now, because obviously all this.
This is the thing. We wouldn't do it now.
I
would never get involved in it now. Yeah.
I think there's like this big old thing where it's just like some of the power in the cars now is just it's a bit like what happened back in the day, right? And I think you'll agree with this is everyone was turning up in Corsas or Lupos, right? No, but like listen, right? So everyone's turned up in them, and then you'd get about 10 people turn up in an E36, and if it was drifting, you knew that they were the ones that had come to drift, right?
Yeah.
And these E36 owners were usually a bit older.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, like you've got 17-year-old kids, or 18-year-old kids, the minute they pass their test, getting like RS3s. Like, because they can finance them. Yeah. Or, like, do you know what I mean? They're getting high-power cars.
Like, we never
and they're,
went
like,
to...
launching fucking high-power cars that they've only just jumped into. And I'm like, bruv, you have no idea, like, how much power that actually has.
Yeah.
So, like, stuff like that, I think that's the issue that you get now. But, back in the day, we were all turning up, parking up. We went to this place in Essex, and it was sick. There was a road that you drove into. Everyone parked up, all up on the grass, got out the road. We've like lined the fucking it's like a bank, so it's like slightly off the curb, and it went down to a roundabout, and it was a dead end, and literally it was just a turning point for lorries, and it was this big old roundabout, turning point for lorries, and what the cars were doing, there was about 5 or 6 E36s, literally that was it, and the boys were bringing down E36s on trailers to do it.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm saying.
There was a geezer there who had a key for the water pipes, he was like a fireman, and
right.
he had a key for the. You know, like when you
like the hydrant or whatever. Where you pull it up and they,
you pull them out the
hydrant. Where are we in America?
Yeah. No, you know what I mean. So he's
I know exactly what you mean.
He's taken up the manhole.
Yeah.
Pulled this fucking thing because he knows where it is, and I think they come with like a special key.
Yeah.
And he's put the key in, and it's pissing out water into the road just to make it slippery.
Yeah.
And mate, within about 10 minutes, the street was like a river, and if you were standing close, you were getting wet.
Soaked, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's how they were. They were bombing it down, drifting the roundabout. There was a couple of little knocks and bumps, but like this was, I don't know, this must have been about 2015, and like it was kind of okay. Like nowadays when I see it, I'm just like, I don't know whether it's because I got older, but I just kind of some of the kids that do it now, I just think to myself, maybe I am showing my age.
The thing is, right? It's like the generations change, right? It's what did we may do with like what we had then? I never recall like a car finance even being available. Right. Like that wasn't a thing back then.
Back when I first started driving, I could have made one of the biggest mistakes of my life. So I couldn't afford a car. And at the time, finance wasn't a thing. Like, it was, but like no one did it. No one financed cars. All first cars were bought by the kid or by the kid's parents, and they were Corsa C's or Clios. And that was it. And they were £1,000 to £1,500 cars. Yeah, max. Yeah. And it was that kid, that one fucking poor kid that bought a K8, and it was a shitter. It was like £300. Yeah, but like that was it, right? Yeah. So I was like, right, I need to find myself a car. My dad, I said this in the podcast the other day, I won't say it again. Dad ended up buying me a Saxo. I couldn't get insured, and the insurance was too much. Fuck knows why. We went down the route of a Classic Mini. Just to put, before I was about to buy the Classic Mini, I'd looked into Volkswagen Ups. They were brand new, hadn't come out yet. Right, like, new release car. The reason why I'd looked at them is because they were when they first came out, a bog standard one was £7,500. Brand new car for £7,500. Yeah, and you could finance it for, I think it was like, mate, it must have been about £149 a month. I think it was. Yeah, this was like completely unheard of. This was like brand new. Like it was like finance a car, like brand new, like cars brand new are like £15,000, £7,500 VW, like and I almost did it. I really almost did it, but it was kind of like, am I going uni? Am I not? Okay, you're going to go uni. If you're going to go uni, how are you going to get the money? And so I didn't do it, and it was the best decision I ever made. One, because it was a Volkswagen Up. Two, because my mum had one, and this isn't me slagging off Volkswagen Up owners because they do look lovely, but fuck me, the driving position feels like AIDS. And I bought a Classic Mini, and lucky enough, it made me go down that route of having an affordable car to. But not only that, to modify. I would never.
How much did you learn about cars from that Classic Mini?
Oh, everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I mean, as in, I'm not huge on engines. I could mostly rebuild a Classic Mini engine. I could take it apart, rebuild it, fine. Yeah. But they're basic. So when it comes to that, fine. But when it came to just little things like I was driving along in the rain once, and it was so bad. My car was really good. A lot of Mini owners, they're like, they overheat, they do this, they do that. And mine never did. And I was driving in like torrential rain, some of the worst rain I've ever seen. And it took loads of water up into the fucking engine, and it just started cutting out. So I've pulled over, and like little things like this, like I knew at this point, like kind of what was wrong, what to do. Like I would never have known this on a normal car. Nah. So I like, bless her, like I was staying with my nan, and she had said, darling, can you go get me one of those bath mats that sticks in the bath? So I'd been to Asda 4 on the way to uni, got her one, carried on the journey. Fucking car stops, and I'm late for uni, so I ring the class to tell blah 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 the lecturer I'm going to be late. Tells the lecturer, it's fine, look, just get there. I've taken a photo of the car, everything, just to be like, this is how late I am. And had a Stanley blade, cable ties, and this mat. I'm thinking, how the fuck am I going to get this thing to work? So I ended up cutting a square of the mat with a Stanley, poking holes in it, cable tying it into the inside of the grill so it stopped taking in water. When I was driving, it was freezing, so it wasn't going to fucking overheat or anything. And they don't really need that much. It's taking in air from fucking every angle on that thing. Every and I did it, and within 10 minutes of it drying, started the car up, drove to like another half an hour to uni, no issues, didn't cut out nothing. And that's all because I learned through Classic Minis that wiring, when you wire a stereo into a Classic Mini, mate, it's not like you go Halfords, buy yourself a single unit and plug it in.
Get a little like loom thing or whatever.
You don't get none of that. It's literally like you
hardwire it in, get your soldering iron out, and we're off.
Mate, fuck that. Mine was twisting tape, mate. But here's 8 wires, figure it out. And my dad showed me how to do it the first time round, and I never forgot. So I wired in like my own lights. I wired in my own spotlights, the spotlights they do on the Classic Minis as well. I wired in interior lights. I wired in new dashboard, like a complete new dashboard, new buttons, everything. And that was all because of that. And now I can do what, like my van, I wired in a tow bar. with no instructions, and like some people were like, "Well, obviously it's fucking easy, mate." But then there are a lot of people out there with never fucking clue.
No,
but that's all because of my classic Mini, mate.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got that.
So yeah, we were all like ripping around in them old cars, like giving it like that. Like, but those were.
It didn't matter though.
It didn't matter. Like, you know, when I was like with my friends in their cars and they're like £250 cars, he'd just go and buy one out of the scrapyard and just like, oh, it's got a bit of tax on it, a bit of MOT. Like, great, he'll use it for 6 months. Cost him £100. You know, like the windows don't go up and it hasn't got a sunroof. You know, and we're cruising around in the summer in it, and it's just handbrake turn at every opportunity.
Yeah,
you know, and that's it. Oh, bro, the handbrake cable. Whoops. You know, and it's just that's it. You know. And they're not doing that now. At that time, like we weren't. We weren't. No. It's not at all. But also we weren't like putting cars on air and doing any of this stance stuff. Like we were literally like, if there's a straight panel on it, you're not going hard enough. Like that's what we were.
I had this chat with, I think it was Jamie, whether it was off camera or not. Like, yeah, mate. Like he said, he said a Corsa C. Yeah, and he put it on air. And he was like, no one was doing this. No. Like, I remember, like I said, my mate, he got air, and like it was the paddle one, and it was atrocious. It was the worst thing I'd ever come across in my life, and it could have killed you. Like, it was pissing out air out the control unit, and it was pissing it out hot, like compressed. Like, I'm surprised it didn't go bang. It's because coilovers, bruv. It was just get yourself some fucking coilovers,
mate. We had mate at a Corsa B, and that was literally get the angle grinder out.
Cut springs,
what we taking off? Take a coil off. You're like, really? What? How low's that go? Don't know. Cut it off and put it back on.
Like, we had videos on the YouTube channel. I don't know if they're there now, but like of us. What's it called? Grinding the paint off with grinders and like wire brushes off of an Astra, because we want it's like rat look. Like rat look was a thing.
Do you remember the rat look?
Yeah,
man. And then you get like a big Sharpie and everyone like signs the bonnet or whatever. Yeah.
Oh my god, his roof. So we bought black paint, matte black paint.
Yeah.
Spray paint, like literally didn't even really tape it up. It's kind of like when you get close to the edge, I put your hand there.
Yeah.
So, like, a massive black hand. Yeah. Like black mark in your hand, and then like we did that. And I drew all over the roof. It took me a day because I'm all right, like drawing ish. Yeah. And I've gone and I've drawn all over the roof, like these little doodles. And he's still got it to this day, and it sits in a garage.
Wicked,
so, yeah, but like that is like a proper. This is how we used to do cars, sort of thing. Yeah. And we decked it on like normal steels, and the tyres are so huge, and we just didn't care, and it like scrubbed to fuck, and it was just like, fuck it. And like we bought a BMW steering wheel for it, and it like it fits, but it like shakes. The gear knob we took off, and we cut a baseball bat, drilled into the end, and we just like literally wedged it on. Yeah. It's like massive baseball bat and stuff like that. Like Rat Look was a massive like. I don't know. It was just a massive way of saying.
Yeah, like everyone done it. Do you remember that? Like I remember. Yeah, everyone done it. I mean, one of my mates only had like escort vans. The old vans, right? Knew everything about them. Yeah, like could break into his knew everything about an escort van to the fact that like you can hot wire. This may be wrong, I don't know, but it's like you can hot wire it by pulling the hazard button out. Do you remember it used to be like a proper button? You could pull that out, switch the wires, put it back in, and then like the horn would go and just all this stuff, man. Yeah, and it just you know, it just knew where every cable was to do everything in them vans, and it was like, wow. Yeah, you know, it
was sick, mate. It was sick, but so that's kind of like.
But these were the days where the cars weren't like got to plug and play. You know what I mean? Like you didn't plug these cars in. No, there was nothing in them.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the thing, though, mate. Like, obviously, I think you have to kind of fucking explain this, but. I know you're not saying this. It's just like you have to kind of explain for the audience that it's not a hit at like today's society. It's kind of like a hit at car manufacturers that they made it boring.
I love today's society. Hence why I go to all the shows.
Oh, like, yeah, mate.
Like I don't personally own a car at the minute, but I've got like business. You know, like
you got your van. I'm the same.
I'm the same. Man. Fully invested in trying to grow a business. You know what I mean? I don't have time or funds to put into like doing up a car now. Yeah. But I go to the shows. Wow, you know what I mean? What is happening now is insane. I love it. It is an art. Like I'm an art guy. I'm a creative guy. Like I look at everything like art. It is mad. I still appreciate everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's going on in these shows. I know, and again, I'm not part of like any sort of click thing, so I'm not like, oh yeah, but they got the same wheels, and I put it like, I done this big reveal first in this. Mate. I just go there, and I think because I'm so pure, and I just turn up at these shows, people go, oh yeah, but that car they only wrapped it because so and so done this. Mate, I'm like, great, but I'm so pure, like I don't know that. I'm just like, they're cool. You know what I mean? Like, I would have probably any one of them.
Yeah,
like,
it's sick that you're able to be like that. Because so for example, like I didn't really know this was a thing. Genuinely didn't know this was a thing. Like, people keep their wheel specs secret. What? Like I know people that have been asked, like someone will come to me with the same car and be like, bro, like I fucking love your car. Like, what specs are you running? And the person will just literally even like not reply, be like, bruv, like do it yourself, like, or they'll be like, don't get me wrong, some of these are my fucking friends and I like them. I'm like, stop being so stupid. Yeah, he's just asking you for like, he's just asking like he just wants help, like just help a brother out. But like, no, because I want to run the fucking widest wheels. I'm like, oh come on, mate, like we're not 10. Like,
no, but there's that competition element to it. You know, I get that because from the jet ski days, right, I had it really bad. Like I can only bring it back to that. You know, by the time I was 15, I was stripping and rebuilding jet ski engines down to the crank and back up. You know,
so I do get it. So someone comes over to you,
what pistons you running? What's this? What's that? Like it got to a point where we were like cutting. So like another just quick story into the jet ski thing. Like towards the end of like my career in that sort of field, I was building my own jet ski holes. So I was making like out of glass fibre, doing all the glass fibre and made the molds, built my own jet ski holes, cut the back of them, shaped them like at a 45 degrees up. So when we was hitting the backflips, we could backflip easier. And then we were turning up to events and then putting like towels over the back of the jet skis and towels over the handlebars. So no one could see like what we'd done to the ski. It would get launched in the water. We would go out, do the run, come back in, lift it back up, straight back to the pit.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then it was like, we need to strip his engine and like test his fuel and what size pistons is he running? He's not on a 900cc. He'd be running, you know, that's ported and bored or like stroked or whatever, you know, like, and you're like, no, it's just that. And it got to a point where we was actually at a championship and someone, like, I won't name these names, but someone come up to me, like a competitor, and was like, well, do a barrel roll on my jet ski then. I bet you can't. It's all in the jet ski. Like there's almost saying there's no skill involved. You've got a powerful engine and you've cut your hole. And I was like, okay, give me your ski. He was like, what? I was like, well, right now in front of everyone at a championship. There's a crowd there. Jumped on this ski, went out, just hit the perfect plate-to-plate barrel roll. Literally come back in and was like, you'll go. And literally for 6 months straight, he was trying that trick. Yeah. Like, and just couldn't get it. Yeah. And that's it. So you didn't need to do what we were doing, but to like get to that level is what we were doing.
I get it. I still do think there's an element of obviously team and sport and stuff in the description or what you're describing. But obviously I don't know. I've just not been that guy. Like I said, like I'm sitting here right now with my fucking clothing printer, the guy that prints my clothes. Like I'm literally sitting here right now. Like so, people would be like, "Oh, bro, who fucking makes your clothes?" Like I can't really deny it now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just because I've never been really much.
The thing
of a
is, I'm not
guy.
like it now. Like that competitive. So the competitive edge in me's gone. I think you'll always have that. That was installed in me from a young age. You know, I'll always have that. But I compete in a different way. I don't compete against anyone else. Like I work for myself and I try and like push myself for me. But I help other print shops out. Other print shops follow me and they will voice note me on Instagram or DM me like, yo, like, how you doing that print? Like, what? And I'm going like, right, well, send me a video of your press up. What mesh are you using? What are you doing?
I think it's such a better. I think you will go further doing that. I truly believe that I will go further doing this. I think you will. I
don't think me telling someone what we're doing, like going like this is what we're doing, they're not going to come in and just steal my clients, because I like to think that if I've done my job well enough and I've interacted and built a relationship with my clients on a personal level, like my clients are like friends to a degree, like we are now, and like most of the other people that I work with that you know as well. Yeah. Someone from the outside probably isn't just going to run in and be like, well, I'm going to start printing for you all now. You'll be like, well...
No, true. But then as well, mate, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think I could sit here with you and I can say, like, okay, so someone can come to you tomorrow and they could, like, get something printed from you. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing for me, because if they want to get competitive with me, like if that person wants to compete with me, I'm not really trying to compete with anybody, but I am sitting here going, actually, do you know what? Like, if you like, I'm still a business. I'm still like, yeah, if you want to fucking go, let's go, boy. Like, I'll beat the shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I will fucking win. Like, I've still got that competitiveness within me. Yeah. I still want to be the best. Like, I still want to be the best completely. But I do sit there and think to myself, well, actually, like, I'm still going to put my all into building brand. I'm still going to put my all into building my company, my business, and like you can do that too, and you can print with the same guy that I'm printing with. Do you know what I mean? And that, like I don't know, like I just genuinely believe I'll work a bit harder than other people to get to that
this
point.
Is the thing. Branding's branding. You've got solid branding.
Yeah,
you know, like Broke Boys is there.
Yeah, now
you know what I mean.
Yeah. It took time.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for the want of a thing, like Squeezed Orange has only just come about now. It's only had an Instagram page and a website for a year because we've been that secret.
Yeah,
like no one knew, and now it's like I had to ask, and I still do to new clients. Do you mind if I put it on my story? Because I still check.
And I tell you, I say no.
You say no. Yeah.
Other people say yes. Some people say no. Only reason I say no is, like I said earlier on, I like to be if somebody's following you. That's kind of my worry. If someone's following you, obviously you've got the garment before I have. Yeah, I've seen it. I know what it is going to be like. Yeah, but you've got the garment before me, and even if it's not even like even if you said, I'll post it after, it's kind of like, no, like I just want to be the first and only person where you can find Broke Boys product. Yeah. Does that make sense? I just want to be the go-to.
That's
place.
Fine. Yeah, but I like that. I appreciate that because that's you securing your brand. That lets me know, like, you're serious. You know what I mean? Like that's it. You know,
that's just my thought process.
Yeah.
I don't really. If anyone like, because I know there's a shitload of brands that do let you post, and to be fair, like I don't look at them any differently. I've just kind of sat there and gone, no, do you know what, bruv? Like, do you mind if you don't? Because I just prefer if I post it. To be fair, it's just I don't know why it's just in my head.
But that's the thing. Like, if we were out to like build a following off the back of you all,
yeah. I understand
like, and I get some people think that, but if we were to be doing that, I would have started doing that years ago when I was working with people that have got, you know, I've worked with YouTubers that have probably, I think they've surpassed 2 million subs. Yeah. They're not in the automotive thing, you know, but like we work with them. Yeah. And it's like,
obviously I know some of the brands that you work with.
Could have piggybacked off the back of them and been like, I didn't even have an Instagram page back then. We didn't even have a thing because I was so like, behind the scenes, that wasn't at the forefront of my brain. Is it the wrong way to look at it? I don't know, because like social media marketing, like if you was Gary Vaynerchuk, you'd be like, he'd be probably kicking the head in right now going, you should have been doing this, you should have been doing that. But at the same time, I think that's how I sort of kept and built this relationship with these people, because they were all working with me, they were all coming over, but nothing went on my stories, nothing was out there.
I think that what you said earlier on, like sums you up quite well, mate. Like you said, you're like quite pure. Like you're quite pure with it all, and I think that's a wicked way to say it, because like I think what you will do, the way you work, what you've been doing so far, like will succeed off the basis of just pure, like just good business. If that makes sense. Like I think like you not piggybacking off other people, you not. Like you're saying, like you're not competing with anyone. You'll help other people out. Like to be fair, mate, I kind of like that. Like I get a lot out of helping people. Like I just like it. I just really like it. I get people come to me like, look, I've started a brand, and some of them are just so young, and like not them personally. I mean, the brand's young, and like it's like 2 days old, and I'm like, bruv, like. First of all, slow down, right? Let's take a step back, but I'm here to help you anyway. And I want to always make myself accessible for that. And that's like literally why what this podcast is about. Like the chats that I had with Jamie FYD the other day, amazing, because he really gave an insight into like the work and hard work he put into being a YouTuber. Whereas I think a lot of people out there think you can just pick up a camera and hold it in front of your face and you're done. Whereas he fucking proves it's not that.
Well, we can talk about that for a minute. I mean, the level of work that people think, even now, I mean, I've only started getting it on a very, very, very miniature scale compared to all you lot. You know, I've got nowhere near the following that you boys have got and what you're doing. You're very publicly out there, but I've started getting it now with people DMing me like, do you ever stop working?
Yeah.
Do you?
So I'll tell you what,
do you have a life?
Pictures of your feet on the desk every morning.
Every morning at 6 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're there every night at usually 9:30, and people are like, "You're still there." But then I'm not a flashy guy. I don't own watches. I only have a van now. Like I don't. I kind of like.
I'm the same, mate. Transit, you gotta love them.
Got to love a Transit, but it's the sacrifices you make to do this. I don't have cars. I can't sink like the money that these people are putting into cars because it's somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Because that's their passion. And
this
is yours.
And I don't knock it. You know what I mean? Like I love going to look at their cars. If people weren't doing that, then it would be like, well.
But mate, this is the thing. This is the recurring theme that I'm finding. This is why I asked you to be on it. Because one, passion. I know that you've got the passion for the job, right? Two, the guys that I've spoke to so far that have been on have like the sacrifices they make, mate. The sacrifices they have. And I was actually, to be fair, I could take it back. The other day I was saying to Dan, we got a bit big-headed, but we were talking about it, saying like, people say, oh, how comes you built this, and how did you get there, and we were talking about our failures before the success, or not even the success. I don't sit here and think, fuck, I'm successful, but like, I'm succeeding when it comes to happiness. I'm quite happy with what I do. Yeah, I'm very happy with what I do. And me and Dan were just saying like how hard we work, and some people just don't understand that. Like we got a bit like cocky for a second. We were like humbling ourselves, but then, mate, you're the same. Like I know how much, like you said, every morning 6 o'clock, feet are on the fucking side, and then you're not done until 9. And I know that for a fact, bro. Like, so for me, it was so good to have you on like, too for that reason. I love someone that works
7 days a week, and that's it. And there's a group, Now, I obviously have a bit of like the inside scoop on the other brands. You know what I mean? Because we work with everyone. Now, there's a select few. I'll never name any names now. They will know who they are. You're one of them. But if I message at 10:30 at night, because I'm still printing, I'll get a message back. So a whole group of people that are putting that level of work, like putting them hours in. Do you know what I mean? Like I can message at 10 p.m. or they can message me, and we're all still there 7 days a week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You know what I mean? It just doesn't matter. And lo and behold, they're the ones that are getting the better. They're able to get like more product, take it to bigger shows. They're getting bigger trade stands. They're turning up. Christ, you got a new van. You know what I mean? It's just like they're like just 100% in, and then you get the others that are like, oh, I just want to take a little bit. Not knocking them at all. Like we all started. Yeah. Fine. Like we will accommodate. Like we have no minimum order quantities. Yeah. Basically, as a shop, so we're one of the very few shops that can run one piece. Yeah. And we will accommodate for that. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they want that, we will help them, because we've been there with ATW. Yeah. And I couldn't get a good printer that wouldn't take anything less than like 50 pieces for what I wanted. Yeah. So we come in, and that's still a big part, and that's in me today, of like, we will make sure whatever we're doing, it can be drop shipped, like one piece. Yeah. I think that's, don't get me wrong, obviously, like, I'm not ordering one piece anymore, thank God. But then I am very thankful that you're, like I said, you're able to do stuff like that. Like, knowing that you that you will like sacrifice. Does that make sense? It's not sacrifice, but I think you sacrifice sometimes time for the fact that you know that the custom is worth more, if that makes sense. Yeah. You'll put that little bit more time in to kind of help and assist. Yeah. And so mate, I think that's why. You really kill it, really will kill it. What's next for Squeezed Orange? Got anything big planned, or is it just keep going, extend? So we're just well, me personally, I'm just like straight on print development. Yeah. So everything that I do and that you see, like me doing the stories and stuff like that, is just new ways to print, new things to print. You know what I mean? As well as like the new product lines that we're trying to develop and bring in for dropshipping to then offer to all these stores as well. Yeah. The biggest thing is going to be garments. Yeah. And I suppose just print. We're working on a few new prints, just a few trick things. You know what I mean? Like we done the 3D. We do the 3D embroidery. Yeah, we do like cool. all very like cool. All the trick stuff. We do that. It's just like, what's next? You know what I mean? And that's
trying to figure out what the next trend is as well.
Yeah, I'm working on some stuff at the minute. So it'll be something that people will probably go, oh Christ, you do that as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's coming out. Yeah. And then like, I really want to nail. I mean, we spoke about it briefly before, like we were recording. About like garments and like blank garment supplies and what we're doing, and potentially making my own like blank garment supply. Like we thought about that. I'm looking at it at the moment. Obviously,
it's like
you and I know there's not a lot
days.
happening in China at the minute. You know, can't get anything out of any
Yeah.
factory because of like global events. But it's something that I want to do.
Yeah,
you know, and it's something that we've always been very, very like strong and like firm set on, and like again, like we don't print on shit, so we very rarely will run a Gildan or anything of that nature.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the other reason why we're a little bit, I suppose, set apart. I mean, anyone could get like a more expensive blank garment and run on it, you know, and print on it. But that's kind of what we've done. We've tried to get like the fashion fit stuff and put together like a catalogue. We have a squeezed orange catalogue of garments that we've put together. We actively stock. We can drop ship one piece, and they're good, brandable. You know what I mean? It's like they're actual, like, you know, you look at it and go, yeah, that can make your brand. It's not just a box fit t-shirt. There are products there that are like fashionable to say, and then you can put like whatever you want on it. The 3D prints,
completely,
like
completely. That's the thing. The variety that you offer, that you've been able to offer me, the garments that you print on, the research that you do into new garments and stuff like that, man. It's obviously always been a huge factor for me. And obviously because you offered that, it was a huge perk, I guess.
I get like everything, I suppose, like led to this. You know, the early days of ATW, like I love ATW. Like I use that, and I describe it in car terms for you all. Like I use that as like the Formula One of the print shop. So all my development goes into ATW. Like if I want like the fitted tracksuit for ATW, but I want like this, you know, this cut, these like ribs on it, this waistband, you know, and this, that, the other. We will like develop that, and then like, okay, cool, we done that. How do we then filter that through to like mass market? You know what I mean? If you like, and then bring that in, and then how can we print that in house in a reasonable time frame to get it out? That's what we've done. So ATW taught me sort of garment manufacture. You know, from dealing in swatch cards, from material shops and buying rolls of material and doing that.
You've
like,
had the opportunity
we've done
to
that.
like really I don't know, like expand the opportunities. Do you know what I mean? You had the chance to really like work your way around like a large amount of like the complicated stuff. ATW's giving you one thing, Squeezed Orange is giving you another. The people that are coming,
it makes you see all sides of the business, because like on one side you're dealing with factories and manufacturers and, you know, fabric shops, and you're doing this and you're trying to work it out, and you're seeing that side of the business. And then you're also like, but wait a minute, we're also like a behind the scenes print shop. Like, I know how you're going to print that. You know, it needs to be like this. It needs to be, you know, to the point where it got to a stage where we are now, without sounding like an idiot, like, or, you know, big headed. I was getting stuff in from the factories going, I could print that better myself. So then I was just bringing in the blank garments and then printing.
You told me that, you said this before.
Yeah.
And to be fair to you, mate, like, I completely understand, because I've dealt with factories before, and you can tell, like, it's
very hit and miss.
It's a very, like, quick, get it done process, because we've got more to do. Like, you can tell, like, they're being worked. And it's kind of like some of the garments that you get through, it's just like, wow, that was never checked. Like, that was just smashed through. Even if the factory's legit and they're not doing, do you know what I mean? They're not doing all the dodgy, horrible stuff or child labour. Like, they're not doing that sort of thing. But even so, you still do look at some of them and think to yourself, wow, like, how did this even make it into the box? Like, you would have spotted this a mile off, and I had it before with a lot of stuff that I've ordered. So, but bro, we have been chatting for a fair old time,
couple of hours.
Thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. Obviously, it was a last minute thing as well. I messaged you the other day, didn't I? I was like, come on my podcast.
Yesterday,
yeah.
No, I appreciate it, mate. Thanks for it. I've never, like I say, never done anything like this. Never been in like this form of like public
No, but
space
it's
before.
Sick, though. I think you fucking deserve it, mate, because the amount of time and work you're putting in, and as well, like, obviously, if anyone ever fucking needs any garment printing or anything, hit you up. Squeezed Orange. What's your Instagram? Is it literally just Squeezed Orange? Or
Squeezed Orange is at Squeezed Orange.
Cool.
And then I'm at Darren_ATW.
Sick. So they can hit you up on there. As for us, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Check us out. Check out the website. Obviously, do all the normal stuff. And see you soon. Smashed it, mate.
See you in a couple of weeks.